We're back, episode 5 of the Make It Mastermind podcast. This week we've got Scott Mears joining us on the show. Scott, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Let's kick off, Scott. For the people that's not heard about you before, give us a bit of an introduction about yourself, what you do, and then we'll pick away your brain as we go along, if that's alright.
I like it. Okay, brief introduction to me. So what I graduated last year from Manchester Metropolitan University in Manchester. So spent the last 5 years in Manchester, and that's where I did business management. I've done business since school. That's the one thing that I really enjoyed was business. So I went into business for that. I went into college and did a BTEC in business, and then I went and did business again in university. And that was largely influenced by my father, running and managing a lot of beauty businesses. Yeah. So that's why I've grown into what I do now. It's just I've always been business focused. Okay. That's why I've created today, where I found my passion through doing a placement at university. And that's where I ran a student beauty company, and that's where I fell in love with social media. Okay. And that's what I do now is I run a social media company specifically for events. So I basically putting bums in seats to events, specifically networking and business events at the moment, but I would look to other events as well. So that's my main aim at the moment. And I'm combining that with mental health a lot now at the moment as well, doing a lot of stuff in mental health as well, combining that with my company as well. That's my main focus.
So how long has your company been going for then?
Since November. It was founded in November last year.
November last year?
Yeah.
Okay, and how's it been so far stepping into, after uni, coming straight into the work life? I'm guessing you're working for yourself now, as opposed to working for anyone else. How have you found that?
It first happened in my placement, so the transition after graduating was okay, because the first time I worked for myself was in my placement. I worked for a beauty company for a little bit, but then the project basically became a full company, a full startup, and they put money behind it and time and effort, and I ended up taking over that. So that was the scary process at that time, because it was I never run a business, never even set up a website, never done anything like that. That was a scary process. Whereas after graduating it was okay, because I'd been through that process already. So initially doing it at first it was not comfortable. I didn't want to pick up a phone to anyone, I didn't want to do the sales, I didn't want to talk. It was completely out of my comfort zone.
So with that, I guess you would have had to, sell yourself a lot, and self growth would have been quite big.
Absolutely.
Like get some good habits going and all that sort of stuff. Is there anything you've struggled to get into? Is it like, do you have a routine? Are you quite rigid with how you go about the business, or are you quite freestyle?
It's funny you say that, because I think having a routine is really important. But don't always have it. Like I don't always keep to it. I'm not. It's one thing I struggle with is continuous discipline. Because when you work for yourself, if no one's there to get you up, no one's there to say to do that extra.
You can take a cheeky day off if you
exactly.
You haven't got to clear it with yourself. Yeah, I get that.
And that's so I struggle with that from time to time, with just the discipline. Even when I have the love for the business, it still there's times where I just I'd rather just stay in bed for an extra hour. But habits, I don't know. Some habits that I've done is just forcefully get up at a certain time every day.
So that's what time you get up. It tends to be quite a big one for everyone.
It's like a massive thing now. Everyone's trying to get up earlier and earlier. It's like a competition.
And that's the thing. See, I argued with myself as well, because everyone's like, "Oh, if you want to be a millionaire, you have to be up at 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning." It's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I thought I had to be like that, and I tried. And I was just like, "This is horrible."
There is this perception that if you're just up at a normal time, you're slacking. I've been up 2 hours longer than you.
Yeah.
All right. If you're functioning, that's cool. But if you're not, then what's the point? If you're not going to be productive and you're just going to be like a slug for the first 2 hours, there's no point, is there?
That's it. It's finding what works.
Being honest with yourself. Yeah, you're right.
It's fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So with the startup only just starting last year, been going, what's that, 7 months now?
Yeah, roughly.
Or roughly around that. Yeah. What do you see the business being? Do you have a vision into where you want to carry it? I've seen on the side you've got a YouTube page where you're doing a lot of self growth. Kind of similar to the mastermind things that we're doing with teaching people what you failed from, and
like being open, and because that's rare. Like
we don't see it.
We'll get onto the social media stuff because we do want to talk to you a lot about that.
Yeah.
But do you see like people are not that honest on social media?
No.
Do you see it? So there's two sides to it. So I would say like I work in sales, and so because you're the main face of your business, do you see it as a good thing, or do you think it could be perceived as a bad thing to be open and honest about mistakes you've made within business? Because if I was selling a product, which where you are the product, I wouldn't highlight the bad sides of that. But then, so do you see do you think people appreciate the honesty? That's what I'm kind of getting at.
Yeah, I think because personal brand's such a big thing at the moment, and especially with what I do, like I don't even have a logo. Like I am, like that is how I built clients. Is just purely meeting them, getting to know them. It's just me
building a rapport.
As the brand. And I find that's really important. And that I like with my YouTube channel, I don't shy away from things. If I'm annoyed, you'll know about it. Or if I'm upset, you'll know about it. And at first, I did not feel comfortable doing that. Like yesterday, I did my first ever talk on opening up by mental health and my experiences with it, and that was an intimidating process. But I wanted to be more open because it just allows people, I think, to genuinely believe in what you're doing. That you're willing to put yourself a little bit vulnerable, and it allows people to really like buy into you rather than this. Because no one buys into that sort of fake lifestyle. And that, well, they like it, but it's just so fake.
Whereas, we've seen that, but it's not.
There's no real attachment there. It's just like I want to be like that. Whereas if you create an emotional attachment that someone can actually relate to, which is the pain, people can relate to that. Not many people will share it, and so I think it's really important. But I can appreciate times where you have to be a little smart of it, as if it's going to cause an issue with a client. Yes, I would recommend to think it through at times, and I have had to do that sometimes.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing with the podcast is it's very easy to get carried away when you're talking. It's so easy, and like I enjoy it, and I like to have a laugh and a joke, and then I also have to realise that I'm still working, and as well, like personal brand, especially in sales, like keep going about sales, but it's just a relative topic because it's quite broad. But your personal brand in sales is important, because I think once that, especially in a certain industry, and like once that goes, you absolutely like you're pretty much screwed, to be honest. Like if you're not trustworthy or just got a bad rep for whatever reason, it's really going to stick with you. So yeah, you're right, and at least you're open and honest. So that is a nice thing. It's rare as well.
Because they're never buying the product; they're always buying you.
Yeah, essentially, like
they're always buying into you.
Yeah, as long as the business is semi-decent, and you've got a good backup. But you're backup, so as long as you trust yourself, then you're golden. Because that's one of the hard things, like in business sales, like relying on other people to add, because you have to trust other people within a business or whatever. But as long as you know, like your drawbacks or
But it's being truthful with yourself.
Yeah,
I lie to myself sometimes.
That's it. Sometimes I think we can lie to ourselves without even knowing it. And how did you find the transition of being completely open and, like you say, speaking your mind on your YouTube channel? Was that quite hard to do that at first?
Really tough. Really uncomfortable. It was just.
What was the worry? What was the main?
It just
that you offend people.
No, I think it was just unveiling too much. The mind just plays so many weird scenarios. And it's just you envisage what people are going to think of you, and they're going to think less of you. They're going to think you're not doing good, because when you start a business, you feel like everyone's like, oh my god, he started a business, like he's so cool, and then suddenly they see that something's going wrong, like, oh my god, how embarrassing is going wrong. Like this, like you guys will know like how hard it is running a business. Things go wrong, and to then show that to your friends, they're like, they love it, like they're just like, oh my god, like it's not working out for him, and it is tough to project that, because then it's like, oh, I failed. It's so that was tough for sure.
Well, you say fail, but I also think it's for people outside of that world who doesn't have their own bubble, who are not trying to create something and put something out there. It's really hard to relate to, I think, understanding the business and putting the time in the business, and if things don't go wrong, you might, like, with our own business that we're working on the side of Make It Masterminds, we've had quite a few hiccups along the way. But we don't see them as, well, I don't anyway, I don't see them as hiccups, I see them as learning curves.
Absolutely.
Whereas you say a lot of outside influence might see that as a big loss that they've taken, so it's being able
to... different mindset. That's why you are where you are. That's
as long as you have to have that kind of tunnel vision, I think. Like I said it on one of our last interviews, like you do have to be in it for yourself, but not in the selfish terms, but in like you have to be focused on your own goals and your own like view of things.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you will worry too much about what people think, and that's where you'll get swayed from what you really want to do. And then that's when you might look back in 2 years and be like, oh, I've not really gone in the right direction of what I wanted to do with the business because of what people have said to me previously, or like comments and all that stuff. You have to have a rigid approach to it sometimes. People's views on, I don't know.
It can be seen as quite ruthless sometimes, like you're just straight, but if you understand that mindset, it makes sense with you see that goal, you have to go 100 miles an hour rather than wasting time with all the emotion.
Alright, so we talked a little bit about, well, you mentioned about mental health and about opening up and stuff like that, and since I've started reading a lot more, I've found myself being much more interested in like how the brain works, like so much, like it's just been by accident, but because we were chatting about, me and Julian were talking about like there's two types of intelligence. There's like, they say like book smart, street smart, but in really like emotional intelligence and like intellectual, like IQ, EQ.
Yeah.
So I started picking up books about it and all that stuff, and then the book went into more detail on like how different everyone is, like how your mind will trigger certain things, and that's how people react in a certain way to certain scenarios. And it's been something now that I've just wanted to keep learning about, because before I was like, oh, you can just like, probably how most people was like, oh, you should just be able to get over it, like if you've got a strong enough will, you can just hack it. So now I've not really been consciously researching it, but I've like stumbled across it and like proper interested me. So I just wondered like if you can give us an insight on like around business and linking it with social media, like how much of an issue it can be or it could be, and like how people could manage it, like because we talked about social media on the last podcast with Tony, and we understand that people can get, if you're scrolling through your phone and you're like, oh, this guy's got a Ferrari, this guy's got a Patek, this guy's got a Rolex, and you're just like, well, why do I have a Rolex? And then it's like that vicious spiral of like wants and have-nots and like self-pity and all that sort of stuff. But then obviously like it's I'm probably talking a bit too much now, but the question like is like within business, mental health just gets like pushed to the side, like it's always about like you gotta be super driven and like super corporate,
it's a lifestyle.
So to go into it, social media, it's important for your business, obviously. What are the pros and cons to social media, like from a personal brand side? Is there a with mental health with relation to it?
So this is something I'm doing a lot more of. So I had my own experience with it, which I did talk on yesterday. First time I did that, and that until literally this month, I've not brought it into my company, even though I've had experience with it. So it's weird because I've OCD of being perfect, and I if I tell anyone that's in business, don't try to be a perfectionist. It's just get it out, throw it away, because it'll send you insane. But I just can't get away from it. Like I've calmed it down, I know how to manage it, but there are still times where I will just spend a silly amount of time on just one post, which will mean nothing. It might get one like, it might mean nothing, but it's that OCD nature. But what in a conversation I had yesterday is that he was like, why are you doing social media then if you have that? I said, the thing is whatever I do, it's still going to be there. I will still think like that, even if I do something else. So it won't change. So I like social media, and that's going to happen. And I found ways to manage it.
Yeah.
So does it help my mental health? It doesn't. I love social media, but there are times that it doesn't. Like for instance, getting up in the morning, I don't go to some of my social media anymore. So that was a really becoming, like you mentioned about the brain. I really started to analyse what I did in the morning, and whenever I looked at emails or negative things, it really messed my feelings up for the day. Like I really started to recognise it. So now I don't do that. I don't go to, for the first time of the day, I don't touch like my phone. I get away from it.
That's a good habit.
Yeah, it really, it's weird. I can't really get that fact. There's a fact that Les Brown said something. It's something to do with your brainwave cycles. It's like 10.5, which what basically means is that you're subconscious. For the first 20 minutes of the day, it's really receptive. So anything you consume, it really affects your emotion for the rest of the day. So and I understood that from looking at my phone and stopping it. Yeah. So I've just built habits to stop social media from damaging. But it'll still happen because I have to put hours and hours into social media. So that's why I would really recommend is schedule as much as possible.
Yeah.
I would strongly recommend that because I believe in business. If a robot can do it, then get a robot to do it. I don't believe that you should be wasting your time with something a robot could do. So that's what I put scheduling platforms, and I'll create the content, that's the fun bit, but the scheduling platform will do it all for me, so I'm not there spending hours every single day putting it on each account, and that really helps with getting stressed with trying to post on 100 different accounts.
So then you'll just schedule your time, how many posts you're going to do a week, and then they just set it and then forget it and come back to it in a week's time. Yeah,
I'll even go to like a month sometimes, I'll do 30 days, 30 days ahead. It really is really helpful. It even gives you a good understanding of the strategy going forward. It gives you a really good time to plan what's next and how that's going to link to the next month. It really assists.
That's very cool actually, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because I always wonder, like when you see brands on Instagram, like how do they must plan so far in advance to do launches and all this stuff. But it's like how do they keep thinking of all this content? Like, do you ever struggle to think up of content, or do you just have that creative side that just you struggle to figure out which is the best content because you have so many ideas on
the way the way I changed it and made it really easy was I changed from creating to documenting. So that was something I learned from Gary Vee actually, was don't create, document. So it's just not trying to think of every day what my video should be or what my post should be. It's just document what's going on, what have I struggled with today, what have I learned today. So it just makes it a lot more organic and it makes it a lot easier because I'm not having to constantly think, right, what am I going to post today? I think, well, what have I learned? Because if you haven't learned something each day, that's another rule that I learned as well, is that don't go to bed until you've learned something that day. Always learn something. And that's why I'll post it and it feels like, okay, that's what I've learned. It allows me to reflect as well. So that's the way I do my my social media. That's
very cool. That's a really good insight, because I know, and I think it'll just be a huge trend going forward. Will be kids will probably look to social media as a definite avenue for income. And it's we could make millions, but imagine if you could just make what's the average wage, 28k, 32k, something like that on social media. That's pretty cool as well, to be fair. If you could just have what would be considered a job from a 9 to 5, you can have that as a bedroom or something. I don't know, playing whatever they're doing now. The Fortnite is
Fortnite games has gone off the charts.
So that is super cool, to be honest. It's great.
So Scott, just to pull you back on something that you said before, so you mentioned that you don't look at your phone in the morning for the first 20 minutes. Again, that's something that we've had a chat about before, about things that we've cut out. Me and James said, well, we don't really watch the news anymore. I find that quite draining on my energy.
I'm with you on that.
We don't watch the news.
So what other things have you cut out? I guess, like you say, to make your life more streamlined and work better for you, what have you added and what have you taken away from, let's say, yourself?
Let's narrow it down. What do you think is the one key thing that you've added, and then what's the best thing that you've taken away? You can't do the phone thing. You played that card.
What is the best thing I've taken away and added? When you say added, is that like something that I just
Something
do
like
more,
like
or just
implementing,
not
like I
necessarily-
don't know, like it can be anything. It can be something trivial. Like I used Headspace for like 40 days in a row. I don't do it now, but I did implement it. Like it did make a difference. Why I don't do it now, I'm not too sure. But anyway, like that's what I mean. Like a one thing, tiny thing. Like it's only 10 minutes in your day, but just set you up for the day.
Yeah.
I just thought of one actually. One thing that I've had is running. That is like life changing. Just running 4 to 5 times a week, or just exercise. So I don't know what it does.
4 to 5 times, yeah. I'm joking.
Yeah,
Sounds like 45. I was like,
No, that's 45.
No one's gonna agree with it.
No, 4 to 5. No, 4 to 5 times. Yeah.
4 to 5 days. Nice.
I recently did Manchester Marathon for the first time,
Cool.
which was really
At the
fun.
weekend.
No, it was a few
I
years
was
back.
gonna say like it was
About a
super
month
hot
ago.
recently.
Oh,
That'd be a
yeah.
killer.
Yeah, the London one was super awesome. Yeah, but yeah, running is a big thing. Is it de-stresses you? It's so good for you, and it's weird. Like those ideas come to me as well when I'm running because it's just you. And another thing I added to that was I changed from listening to music to listening to audiobooks.
Right. Okay.
Because I don't like it coming back to the discipline. I want to read. I know everyone says you've got to read a book a week and all that. I want to, but I won't do it. I will not.
Yeah.
I'm aware that I will not be disciplined to sit down for an hour now and read. I just won't do it. However, I will listen. So I found a time where I can't get away from it, and that was running. So I run for an hour, and then I'll have to listen to it. And I'll replay if I haven't taken it.
Hacked yourself.
Yeah, I've just found a way of just hacking my day. So I'd say that combination has been really, because I'm learning, I'm fitness, it's de-stressing, I'm having ideas, it's my own little time when it's there.
Yeah.
It's a very peaceful time to do that.
Yeah, and they say like I find it sometimes like you get to a stage when you're running and you feel like, oh, I could run forever now.
Yeah.
And it's like they call it like runner's high. And it's like you've got like tons of endorphins and all that stuff. Like it makes you feel proper good. It's like you just get to a point where you just feel you can just keep running and running and running. So yeah, I get that. It's kind of, I think it's a bit like I don't know, because it's like a constant state. And like I wanted to research stuff about flow recently. And I think running is one of those things like you get to that a stage when you're running where it's natural.
Yeah.
You don't feel tired.
Yeah.
You just like in your own head, and then as soon as you realise you're out of it.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty. But that's like meditation, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. I kind of see like running could be like
It's like
meditative.
I completely agree. It's usually the 30-minute mark for me. That's when I just, my breathing's right, and I'm just running. I'm not thinking. It's just like second nature.
Cool. That's nice. Yeah, running's becoming a lot more popular, maybe, I think. Like, because it's one is like it's free as well. So if you want to go out and run.
Well, I think mindfulness is quite something that starts getting quite big now. Well, you've seen Headspace come out, and there just seems to be so much out there now in the mind, and I think that's a great thing. I think it's positive, and I think more people should take time to reflect on the day. It's something so simple to do. Take a few minutes, reflect on the day. What did you like? What didn't you like? What would you change if you could change it?
Absolutely.
And I think as an entrepreneur, it's key to reflect on the day and being able to.
Yeah, at least it's like little wins every day. You might not appreciate it at the time, but as long as you're going in that the right direction, then.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't appreciate it. Like if you're going 100 miles an hour, you won't sit back and look and think, oh, actually things have changed, but you just. Like you don't realise day to day. That's the biggest thing. Like Headspace was a good one. Makes you like chill out, calm down.
I think that could be the biggest killer of entrepreneurs as well. Is that just I'm so focused. I need to not think of what I've achieved. I just need to go.
Yeah.
And I see that with so many entrepreneurs who starting out and like, you're gonna crash at some point. You're gonna crash. Please start. Like you might be able to go for the next year, but you're going to crash at some point.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna be nice. Please just have some you time.
Yeah, that's very true.
Balance, isn't it?
The weird thing about probably us two, like myself and Julian, is that I don't know, and definitely from myself is that I've got aspirations to make it in whatever tag you want to put on it, like bingo, like headline goal. But I want to do it. I really want to do it easy. Like I don't want it to be too not that I don't want it to be too hard, but I think
You're
I
not
could
building
do
it
it
as
easy. Like I think I can do it in a way that's not
On your
like I'm not
terms.
killing myself up at like Gary Vee style like 4 hours of sleep. Like I've listened to like podcasts about sleep and all that stuff and like the health benefits around it and how you need to be getting like Joe Rogan just had a podcast. I can't remember the guy who was on there, but it was crazy. He's the author of Why We Sleep.
Okay.
That is so cool. Like I'll check that out 100%. Like it's crazy how good it was. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to. Like I take the same principle into sales. Like I don't want a customer to ever think that I'm absolutely busting balls to get a sale ever. And I'd like to carry that on into business. I'd like to just keep it like as I am as a person. Like I'm quite laid back to be fair. So I'd like to take that into business. Like make it. I don't know. That's the reason for the podcast is to try and get people into like you don't have to be going absolutely nuts every day. Like there's all in posts like, oh, if you're not like be a wolf, not a sheep.
You're not a lion, you're not and that's when it comes to what's your definition of entrepreneurship. It's everyone has a different definition due to these Instagram lifestyles and all these influencers. And I think some of these influencers are incredible. Like the advice they give, like it's amazing, but it's just creating a really dangerous.
It's how people perceive it as well.
Image, yeah. It's
who as influencers go, who do you kind of look up to? Because we actually talked about one just before the podcast, didn't we? We were joking about have you heard of Grant Cardone?
Yeah, great. It's funny.
so like we were saying like, oh, I just like we personally think it's too much. Like
well, he is sell. 10x.
And to a certain extent, like I've listened to Be Obsessed to Be Average, and it is kind of motivational, but it's only like with all books, there's only certain chunks that you really take out of it. But yeah, back to the question: who's like content at the moment? Do you think is like what does speak to you? Like what's the is it
mentors do you have? I guess
mentor,
what a virtual mentor.
So I have, like the big influence that everyone knows. I would say Peter Voog.
No, I've not heard of it.
I'm a big fan of it. So obviously Gary Vee, that's what Gary Vee's great. Like he is great. He gets a bit much for me sometimes.
I find him.
It gets a bit irritating, but he gives great advice. But for me, Peter Voog is more my level. He doesn't throw content as much. He does really good podcasts and really good interviews. And he's known as like the millennial entrepreneur.
Oh, okay. Nice. I'll check him out.
I'd recommend him. I really click with him. Like everything he says, just I get, and it just really speaks to me. So I quite like his content because it's not as intense and it just brings out really good monthly content. But in regards to my